Hello and welcome everybody to another StarCraft 2 cast by Glitch. Today, I am super excited. Do you know why I'm super excited? I hope you guys are super excited. MLG Providence just wrapped up this weekend. So good. Oh my god, was MLG Providence so good. I've been watching it all weekend long. Ever since Friday, I've pretty much just been glued to a computer screen somewhere, watching all day long, watching so many matches between the top level players. Been so good. If you guys get the chance, go and check that out. I am going to be anxiously waiting for the replay packs to come out because I really want to cast those games, and I'm so excited to cast some of the ones that I didn't get to see because they came up on one of the other streams that I wasn't watching or something like that. Some of the matches I felt it was necessary to go back and rewatch, but for the most part, I mean, there are 300 players at MLG Providence, roughly. There's less than that. Somewhere between 250 and 300 players, but it is a lot of players, and there are a lot of games going on non-stop. So you definitely can't watch all of them just in one sitting. So I'm excited, and I'm waiting for replays to come back. I was at BarCraft all day today. I don't know if any of you guys went out to BarCraft Los Angeles. If any of you guys are in the Los Angeles or Koreatown area of Los Angeles, then you might have gone out to the BarCraft that we had out there, and hopefully you were there. If you did, then maybe I saw you, maybe I didn't. I don't know, because I don't usually recognize people, and you guys wouldn't recognize me because I don't have a webcam. Let's jump into this game a little bit, and actually before I even do that, I haven't even introduced the players yet. Holy cow, let's get that over with here. Spawning in the top right position of Shakuras Plateau as the Green Zerg, playing from Team Blast, we have Tefel. Spawning here in the bottom left position as the Blue Terran, playing from Team Virus, we have Nama. Now I will tell you guys one thing about this game. It is going to be a best of 3. And that's where I stop. I can't tell you any more than that because I have just spent the last half an hour trying to figure out where the heck this game came from, and I cannot for the life of me figure it out. I think it might have been the Zotac Cup, but I can't be sure. If you guys know where this game came from, please comment down below and let me know where this game came from. In the meantime, I'm just going to wait until tomorrow. This replay actually just came out today, so I'm waiting for websites like Liquipedia to be popping up with some of those stats from games that happened over the weekend, and I have a feeling that this is one of those games, so I will know later on, and I will appropriately update the name and all of that good jazz. Now, looks like Tefel has just now started a hatchery after going gas pool, so it looks like he's going to be a little bit late. Or actually, you know what? No, I think he might have been pool, hatch, and then gas, just by the low gas count right now. And the fact that he does not have Zergling speed yet on the way tells me that that gas was taken after that hatchery. And now, he's just going to be moving across the map with a couple of Zerglings. Nama, on the other hand, is going to be moving across the map with a Marine of his own. Actually going to be poking in here real quick to see if Tefel was ballsy enough to take a very quick third. As we can see, he was not, but there is an Overlord here that is caught out of position by this Marine. Very unusual to have a Marine here this early in the game, but as we can see, it's going to do very well here for Nama, as he's going to be able to pick off this Overlord. In the meantime, Nama is throwing down his command center right now, getting up some more barracks right now, throwing up a factory, actually, my mistake. He's got one barracks up with a reactor that he's producing a couple of Marines off of. He's still only mining off of one gas at this point in time. Zerglings do get in the base, do spot that factory, do spot that reactor on that barracks. That is almost a pretty good indicator that Hellions are most likely on the way. Gonna have to see if they are going to be coming and whether he's going to be able to do some damage with it. And yeah, I was about to spoil something from MLG Providence and make a joke about somebody who lost a lot of workers to Hellions. If you guys watched MLG Providence, then I think you guys know what I'm talking about. 77 drones killed for the lose. Anyway, Tefel now has 2 queens out. He's going to be injecting both his hatcheries. Just now starting his layer tech. Going to start to tech up. Most likely, I expect something like Mutas to be coming up along just by the speed of this hatchery. Would also expect him to be taking some gas geysers here very soon, just because this layer, the fact that he doesn't have any Roach Warren up quite yet tells me he's probably going to be going for Spire Tech right after this very fast layer, though it is possibly could be going for Infestors as well. I find it much more common for Zerg players to go for Mutas in this matchup. As we all know, Ling Muta Baneling can be very strong against Terran players, depending on what they go for. And as we can see, that factory has indeed has now been swapped down onto that reactor, and now these Hellions are going to be moving across the map, and he's now producing those Hellions in 2s. Starport also just now finishing up here for Nama, and now these 2 Hellions are going to move into the natural expansion here of TefTefel and start to get a little bit of scouting information here as he moves around, sees that the lair tech is now up, sees the gas count, and now some lings are out here, and oh no, is he going to get surrounded in the corner? He just might. It looks like TefTefel doing everything he can to trap these Hellions, and will he get one? No, it looks like they are going to be able to get away 4 now, but they are getting very, very low on health. Now coming back down to these queens, and they're picking off quite a few Zerglings, and both of the Hellions do go down. Now, on the production tab, we do see one medevac actually coming out right now, and the fact that Naama just unloaded this bunker tells me we might be seeing some drop play here as this medevac is coming out, and there we go. Now those Marines are going to be loading up right now, maybe going to be applying some pressure at the front. Looks like, yes, we are going to be seeing some two-pronged aggression here from Naama as he's going to be dropping a crew of Marines in the back of the main of TefTefel while 3 Hellions move into the natural expansion and start to roast some drones there. Now, 3 Hellions is, of course, all you need to one-shot drones, so you get one good shot off with all 3 Hellions, and you can take out a lot of drones, and it looks like there's one spine growing up here for Naama, and a spire as well is now up, and it looks like Naama is going to be able to scout that. In the meantime, where is that medevac? There's that medevac now moving across the field, and it looks like TefTefel not quite prepared for it. He doesn't have anything up here to be able to defend, and now those Marines are being dropped in the back. Looks like these lings are now being pulled to the back to come deal with this, but those Marines are picking up a few drone kills. Looks like 6 workers killed so far in total for Naama, and it looks like he's going to be very much focused on this aggression that's going up here at the top, as the Hellions right now aren't trying to do any damage. They aren't suiciding in, trying to get any worker kills down here, but they are going to pick off some lings here, and they are going to be able to deal some damage. Looks like in the meantime that little drop was picked up by Naama, and he's just going to be pulling it back home, maybe even just hanging out there for a little bit. He did get down that gas geyser, so that's going to cut into TefTefel's Mutalisk production just a little bit, but as we can see, 5 Mutalisks are already on the way, as well as 4 Banelings, interestingly enough. So that to me tells me that TefTefel is going to be getting aggressive here very soon. Anytime you see Banelings in production, 4 Banelings, that could have been one additional Mutalisk that TefTefel could have had that he is now not going to have. So he must have some kind of plan for these Banelings. Nothing else on the production tab to indicate any kind of Baneling drops. I was thinking maybe Baneling drops might be on the way here, might be very useful for TefTefel to think about doing, but as we can see, Starport now swapped onto Reactor here for Naama. Those Marines that were all loaded up now just moving back, and it looks like he is going to be moving out once again, though. Hellions are not out on the map somewhere. There they are, taking each of the Xel'Naga watchtowers. An SCV and a Marine is up here on this upper watchtower, so Naama having complete map control right now as he takes his 3rd. I love this play here from Naama, as he's going to be moving out, and he's going to be aggressive with these forces as he takes this expansion, meaning that his opponent can't put much pressure back on him. As we can see, the Mutalisks are now out on the field, but they are not high in number right now. As we can see, 3 on the production tab, 5 are currently out on the map, and TefTefel is just going to be moving around, making sure that there are no medevacs around his base that he could possibly be aware of, and now he did just now scout with a Zergling that all of these forces are now moving across to the middle of the map. Could be assuming some aggression here from his opponent very soon. Baneling speed is on the way here from TefTefel. It is about 30 seconds out. If he can just stall for long enough, those Banelings will be up, and they will be much, much, much more potent when they get that Baneling speed. All of these units are, of course, light units, so they are going to be falling very, very fast to Banelings if they can connect, and Baneling speed is what allows you to do that. Baneling speed is what allows you to connect with your opponent's units, especially if they are on creep. That is the way you want to engage. Naama now taking his 3rd, looking like he's still trying to be a little bit aggressive here, but he needs to be careful because the Baneling count here is very high for TefTefel, as well as the Mutalisk count. The Ling count is also getting really, really high now, as TefTefel trying to be very safe about moving on creep. Always a good move, but no, it looks like he is just going to move out. Saw that there are no siege tanks in this mix. Going to be moving out with these Banelings, but nice split here from Naama. Going to be making that a little bit less cost-effective there for TefTefel, but now TefTefel's just going to be moving across the field, taking out the rest of these forces. Still has some Banelings and some Lings left to spare, and he's now going to be applying some counter-aggression here to his opponent. There are 2 siege tanks up, as well as a bunker. Naama pulling all of his SCVs to come mass repair that bunker. In the meantime, do we see any cannons going up? We do see a couple of missile turrets here going up for TefTefel. In the meantime, for Naama rather. In the meantime, TefTefel is going to be taking his own 3rd expansion, getting that up very quickly, as well as the 2 gas geysers. This is critical as a Zerg player. For almost any other race, as you can see, Naama is strictly mining minerals right now at this 3rd that he took. For a Zerg, you almost always want to take the gas geysers first, because gas is really what the limiting reagent is for those Zerg units. Whoa, and I just had a blast from the past back to chemistry class there, as I just said limiting reagent. Wow. Alright. Back into the StarCraft game right now, we can see that Naama is currently operating on 3 barracks, 2 with Reactor, 1 with tech lab. Looks like that tech lab was being used mostly to get those upgrades. As we can see, stim and combat shield has been completed. Concussive shell is not on the way because he is not producing any marauders, so that of course would not be useful at all. But now Tefel is moving into the natural expansion here with a lot of Mutalisks, starting to deal a lot of damage and feeling very confident as he is now starting to take a 4th base now over at that side of the map, and that's kind of an interesting choice of 4th base there for Tefel. And here's why I think that's kind of an interesting choice. A lot of players would want to take, after taking this base and having this base defended, you would think taking this base would be the next logical expansion to take, and it looks like Tefel is actually going to be taking that base right now. But he took this one first, and that to me means that he wants to spread his bases out a little bit more. If he has to worry about sacrificing a base, he's got this mobility advantage with very fast Mutalisks, very fast Lings and Banelings that he can be doing lots and lots of counterattacking with here. So that means if Nama moves out, does big drops over here, starts to take out all of this base, he'll still have this base to move back to and defend, and he'll still have this as a mining base, as opposed to putting them all in this one little pocket here, whereas if he takes these 2 bases at the bottom, he loses that base, he has pretty much lost this base as well, as it becomes very, very hard to defend once this base is lost. So I kind of like this selection here from Tefel. Of course, the counter argument being that this is a much more exposed expansion. As you can see, it is much more exposed to the middle of the map, and if Nama is just to take this top Xel'Naga watchtower, he'll actually see the creep that is spreading around the map there and know that there is a base up there. In the meantime, Tefel moving around with these Mutalisks, I really, really like what he's doing here. As you can see, he's using these Mutalisks not as damage-dealing Mutalisks, as you will see very commonly from Idra. As we see right now, there are 14 Mutalisks currently out on the field, couple more on the production tab, but not a lot more. What do we see also that's gas-intensive on the production tab? We actually see that there are upgrades as well. We see melee attacks level 1 as well as Zerg Carapace level 1 on the way. That means he's using these Mutalisks just to keep his opponent pinned back to his base, try to deal a little bit of damage where he can, and in the meantime he's going to be upgrading all of his units back home, all his Lings and Zerglings, so that when this big engagement finally comes where Nama decides to move out with all of these forces, he's going to be able to engage it directly, head on, deal lots and lots of damage with very strong units. Absolutely love that play. Nama, of course, is going to be getting upgrades of his own. We do see double engineering bay as well as an armory up right now, researching that vehicle weapons for that siege tank. 1 factory currently out here, or 2 factories, excuse me, for currently out here for Nama, as he's getting quite a few siege tanks, and we now see Thors on the production tab. That is, of course, a very good counter to Mutalisks. Mutalisks, of course, are dealt splash damage. Ooh, nice stutter step micro there from Nama, as he manages to pick off a few more Banelings than I think he really should have. In the base of Tefel, though, right now, Tefel is just taking over the map. As we can see, he is currently sitting on 5 bases. Notice all of them are mining, too. Tefel's being very, very good about spreading out all of his workers. Notice he's not quite fully saturated here. That's because as he takes additional bases, he wants to keep the same amount of workers, around, I would assume, around 70 workers. Holy cow, 100 workers right now for Tefel. He's gonna, that's actually kind of a little bit too many, workers, but I don't know, Tefel is going to be getting a huge economy up, but when you're sitting around 70 workers, then you really don't want to be putting all your eggs in one basket and just having all of them mining on just 3 bases. Instead, if you're worried about a lot of harassment from your opponents, you can spread out your drones. Just have 10 or 12 drones here, 10 or 12 drones here, 10 or 12 drones there, 10 or 12 drones at each base. And then, of course, 3 and 3 on each mineral patch, or on each Vespene geyser, rather. And that can be very, very potent and very good in case you lose bases and you're worried about losing a lot of bases. Now, we do have a big engagement here going on in the mid, as we are now seeing lots of siege tanks being taken down here by all these Lings. But it looks like that Thor does manage to get away just barely. But, oh no! That medevac was very low, and that was a little bit risky there. Nice little bit of micro there from Nama as he picks up and drops that Thor to stop the Mutalisks from attacking that Thor, meaning they switch to other targets, such as this other nice and healthy Thor. And then he just drops this back down, and that thing is doing damage like a champ. Tefel, of course, now pulling back, trying to preserve his high-cost units right now. Wants to save all these Mutalisks because he wants them to live, to survive, to fight another day. And he just waits until all of his expendable units, like Zerglings and Banelings, are all used up to demolish his opponent's forces, then just pulls back with the Mutalisks. Love that play there from Tefel, and that's absolutely how you want to be engaging. So many players will just move in with a pack of Mutalisks and feel like this is the end, they need to engage here and finish their opponent. And as we can see, he's going to be moving in once again with a lot of Lings here, but is this going to be enough? Some Lings moving in from the western position and some moving in from the north. Lots and lots of Mutalisks here, but they are kind of clumping a little bit, but it looks like they are going to be able to clean up everything there but these Marines. And once again, once the Lings and Banelings were gone, that's when he pulls back and just pulls back to his forces there, gets ready for another engagement, and if Naama actually gives him time, he can just move out on the offensive again, start to harass with all these Mutalisks. As you can see, his Mutalisk count is starting to get very, very high again, because he's going to start to think, you know what, Naama's going to have to start to pull back here and start to get some upgrades here, start to tech up a little bit. So I know I'm going to have some time here to do some harassment, so I'm going to get up more Mutalisks, and I absolutely love that from Tefel. As we can see, the 4th base is now up for Naama, but oh no, a little bit of a miscontrol there from Tefel as a lot of Marines there come in, pick off quite a few Mutalisks there. Lings moving around the front, trying to go for a bit of a counterattack here while all these Mutalisks are in the back, able to pick up a few siege tanks, but are they going to be able to break this line here? There's really not a whole lot here, and Tefel might just go for a big win here as these Mutalisks continue to try to be very annoying. In the back of the base, these Marines are stimming forward. He needs to be very, very careful with those stims. Those stims are precious. He stims again! Oh no, he has no units here, and oh no, some Mutalisks caught out in the middle of the field, get picked off there by Naama. But as we can see, Tefel is just so far ahead in the units, in the income, as well as in the food supply right now. 200 supply right now, and he is just throwing opponents, units at his opponent right now, and trying to keep up with the fact that he can outproduce his opponent and produce so much more, so much faster than Terran player can, and just continue to apply pressure to his opponent while he stays maxed. Absolutely love this play. In this way, he's keeping all 5 of his bases very, very safe. He's got a ton of bases out there right now, and he's keeping them absolutely safe. And oh no, the Mutalisk kind of getting caught out. I don't know about this engagement here from Tefel, as he lost a lot of Mutalisks there to just a small number of Marines. Marines at this point in the game are pretty much free. As we can see, Naama is taking another base. 50 minerals per Marine at this point is really, really cheap. Super, super cheap, especially once they're on those 3-3 upgrades. Currently, they are only 2-2 in upgrades, but as we can see, Terran infantry weapons level 3 is on the way. The Ghost Academy is now up here for Naama somewhere, and it is now researching that cloak ability. That is, of course, going to be critical in getting some of those snipes down. I don't know that it's quite as effective on Mutalisks, but as we can see, we do now have an Ultralisk Cavern here up somewhere here. There we go. Ultralisk Cavern now up here for Tefel, and so he now, whenever he loses forces, he's going to be shoving these Lings and Banelings down his opponent's throat, and then when he loses them, he's going to be remaxing very, very quickly with Ultralisks there. He's basically replacing these Mutalisks, which are right now serving as the damage absorbers, and the Banelings are the damage dealers. And he's going to be replacing these Lings in this mixture with Ultralisks, which are much, much tougher. But oh my god, there are so many snipes going down right now for Naama, and he's picking off so many Mutalisks. Looks like Tefel trying to pop up there, up into that 4th base, but he's not quite able to break his opponent. As we can see, he's not got a whole lot going on right now. He's only got 1 missile turret defending this 3rd base, and it looks like Tefel's now going to be moving in and focusing down. More snipes going down here by Naama, trying to pick off as many Mutalisks as he can, but as we can see on the production tab, Tefel continuing to reproduce more Lings, more Mutalisks. As we can see, +1 flyer attacks is also on the way. He feels like he's done good damage right now. At this point in time, he's done a lot of damage, and he feels like harassment is the absolute way to go right now. He's nearly broken his opponent. All he needs to do now is keep his opponent on his toes, moving left and right, because the majority of his army has been taken out, so he doesn't need to worry so much about remaxing with Ultralisks right now, as right now he's feeling like he's in a pretty confident position in terms of just doing damage. Needs fast units to get into his opponent's base and to continue to apply pressure, but holy cow, look at the Mutalisks dying so fast to these Ghosts. These Ghosts deal so much damage. They do have that +3 attack upgrade, and Ghosts, of course, do 26 damage versus light units, which is a ton. That means they're killing Mutalisks in just about 9 hits, but with, of course, Marine support, that is a ton of damage. Plus Snipes. Snipes also do a ridiculous amount of damage, and Tefel continuing to just sacrifice lots of units right now. If we check out the units lost tab, look at that. Tefel is way up in the units lost tab. He has lost so many units right now, but he's continuing to just shove units down his opponent's throat. As we can see, more Lings rallying across the field. Ultralisks now on the production tab, moving across here. Don't quite see any making it over to Naama's side of the map quite yet. But as you can see, Tefel now taking more bases right now, feeling very, very confident, continuing to produce lots of more units, lots of Banelings being produced right in front of Naama as more Lings continue to stream in. Ultralisks finally just about going to be here, and there go the Banelings now moving out. Nice spread here by Naama, going to make those Banelings pretty cost ineffective there, as I can... Oh man, that was actually really, really cost ineffective. That was not a lot of Banelings that he traded for not that many, or that was a lot of Banelings that he traded for not that many Marines. As we can see, Naama still mining a little bit at this 3rd base. This 4th base is doing well. 5th base not quite saturated yet. Main still a little bit saturated, but or still got some minerals there, but he's not mining off of it at all. And ooh, a little bit of a Misrally there by Tefel as all of his overlords are now out in the middle of the map, but I don't think Naama is going to be feeling confident about moving out at any time soon. As we can see, Tefel is 100 supply up right now. He is in such a strong position. Now researching that chitinous plating for Ultralisks. Going to be waiting for that because that is going to reduce the damage that Marines do pretty much down to nothing against those Ultralisks. And somewhere on the map we have Ultralisks. There we go. Those Ultralisks are currently 2-3 in upgrades, just now getting that chitinous plating upgrade. We do see Zerg Ground Carapace level 2 on the way, as well as melee attacks level 3 here, and Overlord's actually moving out just a little bit far for my tastes. I'm not really sure why he's got that. Those Overlords don't have speed. I don't really know what they're doing moving across the map, but as we can see, it looks like he's going to be continuing to apply pressure here, and look at this spread from Naama, spreading out his Marines nice and thin so that the Banelings cannot connect with clumps. But man, the Ultralisk count here for Tefel is getting so very high. 5 Ultralisks currently on the way, lots of Banelings being produced because now, of course, these Ultralisks are going to be the damage absorbers here. With 3 armor, they are going to reduce a lot of that Marine damage down to not very much. And Tefel actually losing a lot of Overlords there. Once again, kind of a little bit of a misclick there. A little bit of a misrally maybe. He's actually trying to morph them into Overseers, interestingly enough. And he's now going to be moving in with a lot of Lings, lots of Banelings, and the Ultralisks are now moving in, going to deal a lot of damage. Fungal growth's even going down on some of these packs of Marines so that they are not able to kite away. And as we can see, it looks like all the Siege Tanks, Marines are now going to be cleaned up here. Ultralisks now moving across the map, remaxing with Zerglings. He's going for the killing blow right now. He's still got a high Ultralisk count, and now all he needs is lots and lots of units very quickly here to move across the map, deal lots of damage, and deal that finishing blow to his opponent. And as we can see, lots and lots of Lings just now about to pop out, plus 3 melee attacks just now finishing as well. Now these Ultralisks are 3-4 in upgrades, and they are going to be so tanky and dealing so much damage. Look at all the Lings and Ultralisks moving across the map here for Tefel in such a good position. 200 supply to the 80 supply of Naama. And now Tefel just going straight for the main. Looks like he's moving in with lots of Ultralisks, and oh my god, is snipe good. Holy cow, those Ultralisks dying so fast to all the snipes of all of those ghosts. But man, I don't know if Naama can hold. Oh man, Tefel just pulling back, taking all of his Lings, and he said, you know what, that's a tough wall to break. I'm just going to build a ton of Banelings and just smash them into your face. And that is going to be the end of this game. He's continuing to max on more Ultralisks, more Lings coming across the map, not actually taking any additional bases, really feeling confident about just denying the bases right now that his opponent has. Naama doing a fantastic job right now of effectively using the units that he has. I gotta say, the few units that Naama's had, and he's been so down in food supply this entire game, but he's doing fantastically well considering what his opponent has. Banelings now moving in. Looks like they are going to be focusing down all the SCVs and the Planetary Fortress. Now going to be pulling back, going to go for the main once again. Actually not even going to poke into this 4th base, which is just about the last mining base here for Naama. Once that goes down, that is pretty much going to be GG. I do not see Naama coming back from that. He has lost so much. Looks like he's going to be trying to take this lower expansion down here, but that Planetary Fortress, despite the mass repair, is going to fall so fast to the forces of Tefel, and he is now just going to be pulling back. And looks like Naama's going to be moving out with his final force, but beautiful fungal growth going down here by Tefel as he manages to get a lot of those Marines. The medevac count is pretty high, so it is going to be healing those up right away. Banelings now moving in, and oh man, so many Banelings dying to those Siege Tanks being so cost effective right now. But even at that, Tefel is just remaxing so fast, and Naama has no mining right now. Only 3 workers out on the field to the 97 of Tefel. So Tefel going for a very interesting style here of just playing around with having 100 supply, basically. Basically, his army never increased over 100 supply. Tefel now pulling back to more Banelings, trying to save those Ultralisks, and Tefel just looking like he is in an absolutely fantastic position right now. Naama pulling back because he really doesn't have all that much. If we check out the units tab right now, we can see that he's currently only got about 18 Marines, 4 Ghosts, 8 Siege Tanks, which is a lot of Siege Tanks out on the map right now here for Naama, but it is just not going to be enough to be able to deal with the 8 Ultralisks. And wow, Tefel actually taking a forward expansion of Naama's, and Naama knows it. He is not going to be feeling good about that. Here come all the Ultralisks now moving across the map, and Naama is going to be in a terrible position right now, and Tefel just defending that base very well, macroing up more forces. He's now going to be moving in here for the final engagement. Siege Tanks going down. Banelings actually dying quite quickly before connecting with anything, just because the Siege Tank spread here for Naama is so good. But there's the GG from Naama, and Tefel has taken game 1 away from Naama. Beautifully done by Tefel, and we are now going to be jumping into game 2, ladies and gentlemen, to see if Naama can take his revenge on Tefel. So stick with me, don't go anywhere. Game 2 right now.